Hey, you guys, this is Reshon for News, Views, and Conversations. Just wanted to stop in today and go over the narcissistic game. Lots going on in the news, lots going on in social media. I'm sure you all have heard about the Ramika Meek story. And just in general, I mean, like narcissism is like the main topic of discussion in our day and age, in our time, as far as relationships mostly. I would also say in friendships, business, you got to study this stuff to understand like what's happening around us and how it is really infiltrating a lot of households, infiltrating a lot of business deals. You got to dig deep. This is not a subject for the weak. This is not something that you just read real quick and say, okay, I got it. It's layers to it. It's layers to it. When I began to study it for my own personal reasons, as I began to put the puzzle pieces together in my own personal life, um, I really went down the rabbit hole, and I still go down the rabbit hole as I take in information, as I, hear someone else's story in their life or something that took place with them. The first thing that pops up in my mind is what we already know and what we already understand. Um, the only thing I can say at this point is the devil is really at work. A lot of people don't want to hear that. A lot of people don't want to go that deep. They don't want to, go that far with it. A lot of people are surface thinkers. They're only thinking, surface level, like, well, things happen, you know, da 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 da, on to the next thing because their mind is just trying to get to the next thing of whatever's happening in their life. They ain't worried about the stuff that's really serious, the meat and potato things that we really need to be paying attention to that could affect you when you least expect. So it's just really crazy stuff. I wanted to also mention I've already done 5 videos on my book, The Narcissistic Game, Insight and Pointers on the Dark Side of the Truth for Empaths. It is on Amazon.com. We have it in the paperback form, uh, hardback, audiobook, and also Kindle. So it's like four versions of, getting this information, this knowledge, what we all really need to have in our lives to know how to navigate. And I was listening to one of the videos, the messy sweet spot. She was also covering the story of Romika Meek's Black Men. Sad, tragic story. You get a chance, go over there and take a look at what they're talking about, take a listen to what they're talking about. I've done several videos myself. And as I said in the first video that I did, when I wrote this, this had nothing to do with making money. It had everything to do with, wanting people to be found, not lost, wanting people to understand what's happening to them so they won't be lost. So the devil can't whisper in your ear and tell you that you're a failure, that it's all your fault, and that you're the reason why things happen to you. You got to go deeper down the rabbit hole to find out what all this stuff means. It's a lot to take in. As I said before, you need to study narcissism itself. You need to study God's word itself. You need to study psychology and life coaching to go with it. This is not a just learn this piece. And of course, as you begin to take in all this information, you begin to put your experiences to make it all make sense. But as I said before, I've done 5 videos already on a few chapters. Chapter 13, that video will be out there on YouTube as well. It's called You Can't Mess Up Anything That's Meant to Be. Chapter 17, uh, The Benefit of You, Not Love. So those 2 chapters are out there, chapter 17 and chapter 13. Chapter 22, make sure I give you that information as well. Um, Chapter 22, What Spiritual Rejection Means for a Narcissist or anyone. Chapter 21, Business Opportunities or an Exchange. That video is out there. And chapter 8, Biting the Hand That Feeds Them. So you get a chance, go out there and take a listen to those videos to hopefully help out with your growth in the study of narcissism. You guys, this is very important information. What I feel like I'm seeing from my perspective is a lot going on in our world today, to the point where people a lot of times vent on social media, and we're starting to watch people get deleted and lose their lives. People are venting, saying how they feel, real life relationships, whatever it may be, or just going back and forth with someone, and it's costing people their lives. So that's why I'm saying the devil is really, really at work. We got to really, like, pay attention to what's going on, study what's going on. Don't just sit here and take it as, oh, that's their life. It couldn't happen to me. Yeah, it can. If you're not careful, if you don't know what you're dealing with, if you don't know what you're dealing with, if you don't know what to pray against, if you don't know how to fight against anything spiritually, especially, you could be the next victim. You could be the next person. Just, it's really, really sad what we're seeing. But I want to take the time today to, of course, give you those chapters that are already out there. There's 5 videos already. And I want to go over some of the terminology as to what I'm understanding in relationships and what we're seeing happening. I've done one more video also talking about the different supplies, which is the primary supply and the secondary supply. There's a video for that, and another video also discussing the black eyes. When the narcissist rages, their eyes code black pretty much, and they're like zoned into you, like really tuned into you to where they don't even bat, they don't even move. It's like you're dealing with another presence before you. Scary stuff, but it's spiritual stuff, because you know that you're not dealing with a godly person. Let's just say that. Let's just say that for starters, you're definitely not dealing with a godly person when you're dealing with things of that nature. But you have to experience it to understand what it all means. So I want to go over a few of the terminologies that I have in the book. Again, it is the Narcissistic Game, Insight and Pointers on the Dark Side of the Truth for Empaths. So I want to give you a couple of the terminology terms that are in the book. And I'm going to read you the very last chapter of the book, which is chapter 25, Be Willing to Lose. Give you a little bit of that. And what I have been doing, I've been giving bits and pieces because I don't want to give away the whole book. I want you to go out there and purchase it, spread the word, spread the information. We need it. We are losing our people because maybe they're not in tune to this information. We're taking things as regular happenstance. It just happened. I think if we are educated more, if we unlearn some things and relearn some things, we'll move differently. We'll move better. We'll avoid a lot of the trouble that we meet versus sitting there dealing with it, trying to rationalize with the devil. And the next thing you know, you're in some situations that you can't even get out of. And you don't even know why you're in those situations. Like, you saw it, you didn't avoid it, you gave them a chance, and you should have just skipped right on past them. You should have just kept going. So I just did this book for my own reasons, because of what God helped me to understand and what it finally took for me to finally get it. And now that I get it, I want to share it with the world, because I want to hopefully help save lives, hopefully change some minds, hopefully steer some people in a better direction, instead of just going with what feels like love and it's not. It's manipulation. And if they couldn't fool this fool, then they're trying to find another fool to fool. So I'm trying to help and hope prevent anybody from being a fool if they don't have to be a fool. Let them play themselves. And if people just don't want to learn or don't want to, be a better them, then those are the people that are going to get sucked into the foolishness, a repeat of what we keep seeing. I will say I admire Romika Meeks, because she made the proper changes to try to get out of her situation. But that was a whole nother beast that I don't think that she was aware of. But she made the proper changes to go in the direction. But from what I see, from my perspective, and this is just my perspective only, he kept coming for her. He kept coming for her. Even the restraining order didn't seem to be of any kind of help. But I pray to God that, like I said before, that this book can help bring about change. All the information that I've taken in, all the people that have helped, encourage me to learn and continue my walk on the path that I'm on. I hope that as I partake in it and get the information I need, I hope that other people do the same thing, because this is completely nothing but spiritual warfare. You got evil, you got good. That's all this is. That's all this is. But I think that people need to really get concentrated in, God, in His Word, and taking it a step further by studying narcissism, studying psychology, getting into life coaching, sociology. One of my friends mentioned the other day as well. So it's a lot going on here. So I just want to go over a few of the terminologies that I have in the book. And I also want to read the very last chapter in this book as well. Empaths. Empaths are highly sensitive individuals who have a keen ability to sense what people around them are thinking and feeling. Psychologists may use the term empath to describe a person that experiences a great deal of empathy, often to the point of taking on the pain of others at their own expense. The term empath can also be used as a spiritual term describing an individual with special psychic abilities to sense the emotions and energies of others. I am an empath, of course, so I can feel what people don't say a lot of times. I can read their energy, I can read their whole spirit, their whole being about them. And even a lot of times in those cases, like even though I can pick up on people, I've been known to give them a chance in spite of okay, you can read where this could go, but you still, test them out anyway just to see. And every time I do that, zap. So just based off my experience and what God has taught me moving forward, whatever he gives you the first time, don't waste your time. Because we always end up paying heavily for giving people the time of day that don't deserve the time of day. My experience, what I get, what I understand. Now, somebody else may have a different, whatever they think about it, but that's what I know about it. We are salt to the earth people. We give and put other people in front of us, especially if we're already blessed. Like in my life, I feel like I'm already blessed. So I share what I have, I give what I have. Don't worry about me. I'm good. I'll wait. I'm already kept over here, so I'm not worried about anything. But people that are narcissistic, they will suck you dry. They will keep getting until they can't get any more. And the thing that's so funny, if you ever stop giving them, they'll treat it like you've never done anything for them. So it's best to kind of pull back your energy, pull back your goodness, pull back your real, pull back all of that, because if you keep being such a giver all the time and being good to people, people take you for granted. It's like a playground for them, and you don't want to become that. Like I said, the reason for doing this book is to bring awareness. Don't let anybody play with you. Don't let anybody walk over you. Don't let anybody use you or, play manipulative games and try to see how much can they get from a good person. We definitely don't want that. The smear campaign. A smear campaign is an effort to damage or call into question someone's reputation by propounding negative propaganda. It makes use of discrediting tactics. This term can be applied to individuals or groups. So when people fall out with you, when they can't get what they want, then they'll start talking about you, trying to, put your name out there, make you look bad to other people because they can't use you. And those other people that they're discussing you with, they know nothing about you. They don't know nothing about the fool that's talking about you. So either they are really listening to them or they're just like letting them talk and run their mouth, but they don't care at the time. The narcissist doesn't care at the time. They're just trying to put you out there and put you on blast because they are mad and furious that you won't do what they want you to do. Crazy work. Crazy work. Love bombing. Love bombing is an attempt to influence a person through demonstrations of attention and affection. It can be used in different ways for either positive or negative purposes. Psychologists have identified love bombing as a possible part of a cycle of abuse, and they warned against it. So love bombing is like in the beginning when you first meet someone, it doesn't matter whether it's a friendship, relationship, or whatever. They're constantly pouring you with compliments. They're staying in your face all the time. They're calling you all the time. They're doing little trinkets of things that you would like for them to do, just pouring it on thick, so thick. You're just like, I know I'm all of that. I deserve all of this attention. But what happens is all of that comes to a complete halt, a complete stop once they think they have you going. So if you dealt with this person on a sexual level, they done got you there, your mind gone, your body is all just how it's going to be when you're dealing with somebody sexually. The gift giving, the compliments, those things can come to a complete halt once they have you acclimated to them. You've been groomed. You're conditioned to all of this this love, fake love is what I call it, fake attention, is all an act to pretty much get you to how they want you to be, get you controlled, get you, up under, their spell pretty much is in how they want things to go. And then take away the very thing that you have become accustomed to all the attention, accustomed to all the spoiling, all the love making, all of whatever you've been getting from this person that you feel that you need, you're in a relationship or whatever this is, if it's a relationship or just constant, I'm in your world, you're my world, we make each other. When they take that away, you're sick. And you have to really pay attention, because why would somebody go to that degree of doing all those things and just stop? It took me the longest to figure out, dang, why did they do all of that? And it's you're thinking they really want this. We're going to really be doing what we're going to be doing here. Friendship, whatever it may be, coming around, constant attention. They are down with you, no tomorrow, this is what this is. And all of a sudden, they stop. You got to find out and understand the reason why they stopped. What were you giving them during the time they were doing all the pouring on? What were you doing for them? If you stop what you were doing and they see they're not going to get that thing, whatever it could have been, if it was money or helping them out in whatever form that help may have come in, if you stop what you're doing, it's a great chance they're going to stop. Or if you're not able to continue what you've been doing, they're working on someone else to continue to pick up where you left off. So it's fake love, basically, because people that love you, they don't only love you when you're able to give to them. They love you when you do have it. They love you when you don't have it. So it's either way. They with you no matter what. They don't disappear when the giving stops giving. They stick around no matter what. So be careful of the love bombing. I would say when you meet people at your job and stuff like that, you got people there too that try to play on you. Relationships, friendships, church. Be careful of the spirits that you come in contact with, because every spirit is not of God. It's crazy work. It's crazy, but it has to be talked about. The trauma bond. Trauma bond describes emotional bonds with an individual that arises from a recurring cyclical pattern of abuse, perpetrated by intermittent reinforcement through rewards and punishments. When an abuser uses manipulation tactics and cycles of abuse to make the victim feel dependent on them for care and validation, causing a strong attachment or bond. This often occurs in romantic narcissistic relationships, but can also occur in families, friendships, or work relationships. So the trauma bond is pretty much when you break up, your eyes come open or whatever a little bit, give it a little time, you feel that ache, you feel that longing. What's the other word for it? Nostalgia. You're missing them, which also brings in what's the other word? Stockholm syndrome. That's what it is. Stockholm syndrome. You can pretty much say Stockholm syndrome, you're going back to your abuser. The trauma bond, pretty much. So it's almost like two of the same thing, really, but it's still explained differently. But the trauma bond is you're so used to this person, it's hard to break away. In church, we call it the soul ties, especially when you sleep with them sexually. When you do that, that's why they say be careful who you sleep with, because what you don't want is you don't want to be tied to the wrong person. It's not going to be easy to walk away. It's easier to walk away when you don't sleep with them. Yeah, you may have some ties to them, as far as being communicating with them on a regular basis, getting used to that, maybe going out sometimes. But if you have not done the actual deed, it's easier to walk away. But if you have, it's going to be harder. And that is what makes that trauma bond even harder to break. We all know that the ones that are sexually active, some people may not be, but for the ones that are, it's going to be harder to break that bond. It's going to be harder to leave them, because you have connected with them soul wise. You're pretty much making a soul tie with someone whenever you come together sexually. That's what sex is supposed to be for, anyways. When you get married, it's supposed to bring you closer to your spouse. It's supposed to bring you closer to your significant other, so that no matter what goes on in that relationship or outside or in the world, when you and that person come together, everything is okay. So that's why it's so important to know what SMEX is for and how it's supposed to be used. It's not supposed to be abused. Not supposed to be watching, porn and all the other stuff. That's not what it's for. That's not what God created it for. He created it for the sanctity of marriage, to bring two people together that believe upon God together, to be strong together, and to be pretty much unbreakable, to bring their family together, to procreate, to have children. That's what it's for. But when you're dealing with people that are, I would say, not spiritual, not into God, not in the church, they out here just passing around like it's nothing. They out here just doing their thing with whoever. They got a whole rotation going on. So imagine that. They got, like, I don't know how many people trauma bonded to them. So if you cut up this week, hey, they can put her in your place, him in your place, whoever in your place, because hey, it's nothing to them. It has amazed me in people that I've met in my past where they say, um, they don't get attached. They turn off. And what I do understand based off my studies, a lot of men don't really attach like that, but women do, because we are emotional. So I would definitely say for my sisters, be careful with that. Don't try to take on, the attitude of a man like, oh, I can just turn off whatever. Yeah, you might be able to until you get that one that you really like. And you're probably not going to turn off that fast. So you got to be careful with that, because that right there is the glue to making the trauma bond even happen. When you're dealing with people on a sexual level, I have to say certain words because we're on YouTube, so they try to, like, watch what we say on everything we say. But definitely be careful with that, because that right there, it takes a while to shake it off. Now, once it wears off, but it takes time for that. And so that trauma bond, meaning you're in love with this person, you're with them, and even though they're doing you bad, even though they're doing you wrong, they could be doing whatever on you, cheating, whatever, owe you money, whatever. They can get away with all of that because of that one thing, and that's the sex. Plain and simple as that. They can get away with us so much because of that bond, and it's trauma because you're hurting, you're upset about it, you're confused, and you really thought more of this person than what they're showing you, and it's just terrible. And the trauma is you keep going back. You can't leave them. You keep coming back and you keep getting the same thing. And from what I'm understanding and past experiences, it gets worse. The more you come back, they don't respect you. They dog you out and treat you worse until you finally realize and get the gumption when they say, you know what? I'm better than this. I'm not taking this. I know what I deserve, and I'm going to get better. I'm not going to stay in this mess or stay in this rut. Um, let's see. It's so much in here. I mean, this book, I keep this book with my Bible because I always say God gave me this book. There's so much in here. There's so much information. You gotta grab it, you gotta get it, because it definitely helps to understand what you are dealing with. It definitely helps, to understand what you're dealing with. Let's go over the terminology. Triangulation. Triangulation is when a toxic or manipulative person, often a person with strong narcissistic traits, brings a third person into their relationship in order to remain in control. There will be limited or no communication between the two triangulated individuals, except through the manipulator, which is the narcissist. It may appear in different forms, but all are about divide and conquer, or playing people against each other. That's what I feel about in the Ramika Meek situation. What Carlos was doing, he was playing her and the girl Holly against each other. Now, from what I understand, Ramika had been there the longest, so she had more time in. The other girl, she's new. And I'm hearing other stuff, allegedly, I'm not sure 100%, but they're saying that he had already let her know, Holly, that it wasn't even that. She just happened to get pregnant. Go figure that. So, got to be careful with when we're dating. Be clear on your position. Be clear on, what you're doing with the person. Because, okay, fine, if that's not what they want, That's your decision to make if you want to even get involved with them or not. You don't have to. You can just go and only seek people that want what you want, which will be great, which will be better. But for some reason, the way this narcissism is going around in the world today, it's like we're living in hookup culture times. Everybody wants to hook up. No one wants to stabilize and be central and be in a relationship. They want to be in the revolving door action. They want to come and go as they please. And when that happens, we're dealing with triangulation. In some cases, some people are forthcoming. In other cases, they're not. And it's really bad when people start to have children. And that information is also in the book as well, in one of the chapters. Get the book so you can go see. A lot of times the narcissist will get you pregnant to keep you. So you can't just break free and you can't just leave. That child gives them a reason to keep being in your life, to keep, coming back. I think that's probably why maybe he probably did a lot of things. What he did, he probably was so in shock after being with her 10 years from what I believe I heard them say. She gonna leave me like that? Wait a minute, my child. So that child is always this open door to be able to come play the other one, which we know that just is gone out of her rockers to do what she did. Because from what we're saying now at this point, she was just a pawn in his game. He used her. She was secondary supply. Romika was primary. She was the chosen one, not the other one. So she just got pretty much got played out of her own freedom if she goes to jail for what she just did. So triangulation can be off the chain because in it, whether it be two men, and in most cases, it's mostly women a lot of times, we want to be the one, the pick me. You never don't be the pick me. That's the worst thing you could ever do is be the pick me, trying to make him see you doing things for him that will make him think, okay, she's loyal, she's down for me, she's ride or die. No, don't be ride or die. Don't be loyal in the aspect to a man of where you're willing to do anything for him. Or guys too, if it's a female, don't be so willing to do whatever for these people just to prove that you are, down for them. They're trying to see who's gonna be the biggest fool. You don't want to fall in that trap. You don't want to fall in that trap at all. You don't want that. You definitely don't want that. It's a sad, tragic situation that happened, but it went the way it went. But I believe because I went out and read like some of her posts on her social media that she knew that he was what we're saying now, narcissism, complete narcissistic behavior from what I'm seeing, from what I've read, and me going back thumbing through my own stuff to make sure like, okay, yeah, everything is it's all adding up. It's all adding up. So that's triangulation. So careful with that. Make sure everybody says what they want. If you don't want to be in the rotation, make it be known at the beginning of whatever relationship, friendship, situationship that somebody trying to put you in, because it's funny when it's all fun and games when it's at the beginning of things and you just getting into it, especially if you start being sexual with them. It's fun and games in the beginning, but when those feelings kick in, you're not going to be able to walk away as quick as you just hopped on in it thinking I'm a big girl, I'm a big man, big guy. I can do this. I'm good. I can turn on and turn off. Meet the right one. You'll find out differently. Narcissistic supply. Narcissistic supply refers to the constant supply of attention and admiration needed by a narcissist. To gain this attention, narcissists will use a false self that is likable to attract people to them. However, because narcissists are unable to make healthy connections, they tend to target people who are more vulnerable in order to feed their supply. So people that are like not aware of what they're going to be trying to pull on them, they seek those types of people. They try to read you and study you before they even get involved with you to pretty much see if they can try to like run whatever game they want to try to run on you. The one thing I thought was so interesting in studying narcissism, the false self, what I've seen in my experiences, a lot of narcissists are fair weather, they're fake. If they do a nice gesture, if they do something for you, they only do it to get something back in return. Like I said before, in the love bombing, they're pouring on all this admiration. They're doing all these different things because they want something in return. And I bet you my last paycheck, I bet you my house, my car, my everything that I own, the minute you stop and like really tune into what they're doing and pull whatever you were doing back from them, they're going to stop. That false self, the mask is going to fall off. The person that you thought that you met is not who you are meeting. You're meeting their representative pretty much. So you see the false self. So they want all this admiration. They're thinking by doing the things that they're doing to get what they want from you. They're thinking by doing this, like, yeah, this is what it's supposed to be. They're pretty much mirroring you. You're the reason for the love because you're being genuine. They're not. They're only pouring on and doing the things that they think that they should do to keep you going in order to keep getting. But the minute that you become on to them and you begin to see through the bull, everything stops. And so it will stop for such a time. I know one of the other YouTube creators, Hario Over the Top, he is the best. Great, great, great for life coaching. He has so much information out there about this subject. He can tell you probably way more than me. But as he has said before himself, they are rational when they want to be rational, and they are irrational when they want to be irrational. So in all these things and all these changes that may come about if you're dealing with someone that's narcissistic, they know how to turn the switch on and they know how to turn the switch off. And they know how to pretend. They know how to put on the whole whatever, putting on the Ritz to get what they want from you. And like I said before, believe it or not, when they can't get it, you will see a major change in them. I have a lot of information here about psychology as far as their mental health, if they could possibly have PTSD. They could possibly fall up under cluster A, B, or C, based off what I have in the book. So it's a lot of psychological stuff that could go on in the midst of you dealing with someone. And so that's why I say it's so important that you study psychology, narcissism, all the information about narcissism, all the information about psychology, get life coaching. Of course, you got to have God, the ministry. People like R.C. Blakes is definitely great for this because he's a minister. He actually preaches, God's word, and he talks about this. Because so many people are like, what is that? They're thinking they're dealing with a regular situation. No, this is spiritual warfare on steroids. So you got to have everything, because what we're understanding is they could have mental issues. I like to call it mental demons. They're warring with themselves. Whatever they're warring with, you're going to be getting hit with. And you may end up taking on what they have. That's why they say be careful who you sleep with. So so there's cluster A, cluster B, cluster C, all the way to cluster C. Yeah, so I was right. I just want to make sure that I was correct. But it's a lot that goes into this with them having personality disorder. They don't even know who they are. They don't even know why they're doing what they're doing. But one thing I will say that is key. One thing that I will say is key is the fact that I'll make sure I remember what I was going to say. A lot of this happens because of their childhood. Whatever upbringing that they had, whatever that was for them, that's why they are who they are. And in a lot of cases, from what I understand, they never got over some things. And because they didn't, they begin to take it out on the partner that they are with when they become adults. So this is like a child still dealing with, this is an adult. This is an adult dealing with childhood issues. They're now an adult, and now they're bringing those issues into their adult relationships. So they're not a kid anymore, but they're still thinking along those lines, a lot of things that they haven't worked out yet. And so they're still dealing with it. And if they haven't dealt with it properly, whoever they end up being in a relationship with dealing with, they're going to be getting that abuse. True statement, true fact. Go look it up. Go do your own research to see what we're talking about. Big deal. So so there's also terminology here for PTSD, psychopathy, sociopath. I gave you the false self-information. So it's a lot. Let me get to chapter 25. Everybody's trying to call me today, just as I get into the meat and potatoes of what I want to talk about. But I've given you quite a bit of information. I've given you terminology. I've explained it, but there's nothing like going to get the book If you don't want to read it, you can get the audiobook. It can be read to you. We have it on Kindle. Again, paperback, hardback. This is what you need to have these days. I purposely keep this with my Bible. That's how deep it is for me. I can't speak for others, but I purposely keep it with my Bible because I also have scripture here in here as well. So I'm about to get to that. So I'm going to read chapter 25. Get acclimated in God, get acclimated in knowing what narcissism is, life coaching, learn psychology, learn sociology. Get into this. Look at what's going on in our world. Not just are we seeing it in relationships, but we're seeing in politics. I feel like to me, the devil is running rapid. You got to get informed. You got to be in the know so we can save lives and keep the devil from tricking and fooling so many people, because that's what's taking place. That's what's going on. Chapter 25, be willing to lose. Sometimes it is best to lose in order to gain. A lot of what we hold on to in life can be dead weight and keep us from moving forward. In order to get to God's best, it is better to release that which hinders our path to clarity, whether it is a relationship, friendship, business opportunity, etc. We need to release whatever is keeping us from accessing the peace and blessings that God has in store for us. At times, it feels like we have to play the narcissistic game, the devil's game, to try to achieve what we want, especially when we have given our time and energy to something or someone for so long, enduring the back and forth, push and pull, and the moving of the goalpost game. That is definitely not God's will. Rather, it is the confusion and chaos from the devil to continue to throw you off the path of greatness that God has designed. Whatever God has for you comes without confusion. It comes with clarity and ease. And there is a spiritual knowing when something or someone is for you. No games, no hesitancy, no what ifs, only God's certainty. We delay God in our prayers when we stay in situations that do not bring us closer to God or his kingdom. 1 Corinthians chapter 14, 33, King James Version says, "For God is not the author of confusion, but of peace." Jeremiah 29, chapter 11. My apologies, Jeremiah 29, verse 11, King James Version says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. Then you will call on me and come and pray to me, and I will listen to you. You will seek me and find me when you seek me with all your heart. I will be found by you, declares the Lord." God is ready to bless your life abundantly. May your cup runneth over as you move forward to God's best. This is chapter 25. And at the end of each chapter, I also have self-discovery questions as well for you to process, for you to look within. From what I'm understanding, they're saying that the narcissist doesn't have the ability to self-reflect. If they do, they feel like they're giving up their power. So that's why everybody else is to blame for all of the crazy stuff that's going on. So self-discovery question number 1. Do I have peace about my current situation? Self-discovery question number 2. Have I heard from God about my decisions? We can't keep making decisions without him, because every time we do, we bump our head. It's inevitable. God has to be in everything that you're doing. Self-discovery question number 3. Am I in my own way? So I felt like when I saw the story of Ramika Meeks Blackman, it just felt like, oh my God, I did this book in 2023. And my awakening came in 2020. So I started journaling. I started putting it all, like laying it out, because I'm one of those people, when I get information, it's like meat and potatoes for me. I'm a communications major, so I love information. I love to learn vocabulary, understanding. How do I piece all this together? And that's how I came out with this. So I got my awakening in 2020. I had questions for so many years of my own life. And finally, I got my awakening in 2020. And when I got it, my mind is like this. It has forever been like this since that time. The things I used to just kind of like, yeah, before, not anymore. And the thing that's so crazy to me as we sit here and watch what's going on in the world today, I'm like, oh my God, I think God has me purposely moving the way I'm moving for such a time as this. Because as we can see, it's getting worse. And I even said when I first got the book done, it doesn't matter to me if I make a bunch of money or a lot of money. I want people to be aware. I want people to be saved from what the devil has in store for them, which is for them to, if they possibly could, if he possibly could, if he can make you blink out and lose your mind, he'll do that as well. So you can't think, so that you can't function on how to make the next best decision for yourself, for your children, for your household. If he can just knock you off your whole pedestal, he's trying to do that. And clearly, in her story, her situation, she was moving forward. She was living her life. She didn't deserve this. But in every situation, God always takes it and he's going to use her story for someone else's glory. And I pray and I know in my heart that she will get her glory and she will get her crown in heaven. Because from what I could see, she was making the right steps to get away from the foolishness that was not for her. So, guys, get a chance to go out there and pick this book up, spread the word. Also, sign the petition. There's a petition going on for Ramika Meeks Blackman. I think for them to try to get them to, look deeper into what happened, pulling their phone records and trying to get this pretty much being brought to justice. I think they say like 100 and something thousand signatures is on Facebook. I got to go out there and pull it up myself because I do plan on signing. But this one right here, I think it really touched a lot of households and it touched a lot of people because there's a lot of women that do share the same man for their child's father with another woman. So what we just witnessed did not have to happen. But if the other one was so caught up into him, and if she was a narc too, which is the thing I'm thinking too, is that's the only reason why she was able to do what she did. She had to be narcissistic to carry that out. Because at no point did she look at her as a woman like she was a woman. At no point did she look at her son, her child, and at no point did she look at Ramika's child. So she didn't consider anyone. The only people that she was thinking about was herself and the guy Carlos. So this is really getting deep. It's really getting deep. And I promise you, when I say this, it's like God has shown me the purpose of why I had you do what I had you do, why I had you experience what you experienced. I need this to be brought forward. If I don't make a dime from it, I'm okay with that. Because I know the intent was to bring awareness. To bring awareness so people understand what is going on, what's taking place. And I mean, I do understand the fact as well that some people, even if you give them the information, they still want to be done. Or some people I've seen, they want to be in a situation. They rather take that love and be in that triangulation just to have a piece of that person because they're so smitten. They're pretty much choosing that person over themselves and the knowledge of God, giving them a way out to be better. They're actually holding up their blessing by staying in it. And I'm so glad that Ramika did what she was supposed to do to try to get away from it, in spite of how it went and how it ended here on earth. But God has better for her in heaven. So we pray that, we hope for that. And like I said, I want people to really understand what we're dealing with here so people don't keep running into these same situations thinking that this is what it is. It doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't have to be that way. Who wants to be lost? Who wants to be stuck? Who wants to not be able to move forward because someone has a stronghold on you, a soul tie on you to where you can't live your life. You can't be free. They feel good about hurting you. They feel good about keeping you in bondage, feeling like they feel powerful because I got you. I got you. I got him. I got her. I got all these people, which makes them feel like you're just a part of their bag of treats. They have power over you. You have no power over yourself. They have power over you and can control you. So we don't want that. But definitely get a chance to go out there and check out all the other 5 videos that I've already done on this subject because I've been trying to like pace out what I give out because I want people to go and get the book, spread the word, so people are more in the know. Like I said, if I make money, great, great. I've done what I'm supposed to do. If not so much, I'm okay with that too. The goal is to make people aware of what's going on in this world. The devil is trying to take over in major ways, watching the news, and they losing it. So definitely go out there and take a look at the book on Amazon.com. It's also on my website, urbanbeatsradio2.com. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next video.